Hey everyone, welcome to the reading for today. We're going to see what you guys need to know right now. Keep in mind it's general, it could be past, present, or future. You will know best how this resonates for you on your timeline, okay? So let's just get into it. Let's see what the message is today. What do you guys need to know right now? What's happening in the collective? Let's see. I do have this strong feeling of like not wanting to talk, all right? It feels heavy, like getting the words out, okay? Like, you know that feeling where sometimes you just don't want to talk to anyone, you just want to be quiet. It's kind of what it feels like. Yeah, the Four of Swords comes out. But it came out in the reverse. And the Hermit in the reverse. And the Devil. Okay. So we're dealing with someone here that doesn't go within. They don't reflect, all right? Or this is someone that isolates themselves. Okay, the Four of Swords in reverse. Somebody is stressed out, anxious. They can't find peace. This person could be burnt out, exhausted, can't sleep, all right? No peace. The Star in reverse. Lackluster, no hope, a feeling of hopelessness. Interesting, all right. And the Devil. Let's see what this is. I mean, this is kind of like... This could be someone, this is giving me that energy of someone that's been isolated for too long. Like they don't go outside enough, all right? Like isolated to the point of feeling like everything sucks. Life feels boring. Life is bland. Mental unrest, no peace. All right, let's see. What's the Hermit in reverse? The Four of Cups. Yeah, it's like everything sucks. The World and the Knight of Wands. This could be someone that spends a lot of time online, all right? The World and the Knight of Wands. This is somebody that just rejects everything. Like they're just unhappy all the time, all right? Okay. What's the Four of Swords reverse? The Queen of Swords in reverse, the Emperor in the reverse. And the Seven of Pentacles. So we have a feminine energy here that's manipulative, a liar, cruel, heartless, cold-hearted, icy. An Emperor in the reverse, someone that's mean, cruel, oppressive, a dictator. That's what someone has been working towards. They've been putting a lot of time and effort into something. What's a Star in reverse? The Two of Wands in reverse and the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, this is like lack. It's like a lack mindset. You feel like you have nothing. Bad health, poverty. I mean, honestly, it just kind of feels like a lack of purpose. Like the Star in reverse, someone here has a lack of purpose. They have a lack of direction. Their life feels pointless. Everything feels bland. There's no hope. There's no wish. Okay. The High Priestess. You know what? I gotta say, like this kind of feels like someone that is like chronically bored also. Like someone that's just bored. Like they've isolated themselves to the point of just hating everything and everything is boring. Like there's no point to life. That's what this feels like. Like Okay. Tell me more about this Hermit in reverse, please. The Ten of Swords in reverse. The Nine of Wands. What is it? The Hierophant. This has to do with somebody that's defending themselves or trying to... A King of Wands. Somebody that's trying to defend themselves from something here. I don't know. A message of concern. Who's the Hierophant? Or what's the Hierophant? A main male. Someone is not a false person. A message of concern about a main male. And either someone being exposed as a false person or someone is not a false person. What is that about? Abundance. Keep a positive mindset. Gratefulness. Yeah, but gratefulness is really missing, and bliss. Positive mindset, that's not what I was getting at all from this reading. At all up until this point. Silent treatment. Stop the pattern. Silent treatment. Yeah, it's like someone that just doesn't feel, it feels like very like, doesn't feel like talking. I don't feel like talking. Everyone sucks. Don't talk to me. Life sucks. Nothing is good in the world. Everything is blah. Okay. Why is this energy here? This has to do with a message and somebody not listening to their intuition, or a message that and somebody ignoring their intuition about what? About somebody's health? Somebody being in bad health, or someone that is in poverty, or someone that is, okay. The Six of Wands, the Seven of Wands. Somebody here is ignoring their intuition about a message. This has to do with somebody being victorious and defending themselves. Who ignored their intuition? A choice. Someone that is lazy, unproductive, someone that made a bad plan, someone that wants reward without effort. This has to do with a choice. Who didn't listen to their intuition? Or who ignored their intuition? About magic, the magician, something about a magician in a home, somebody manipulating something in a home, what somebody has held on to, what somebody's holding on to, their stability in a home. This has to do with information about trying to solve a conflict, communicating something to solve a conflict. What is this about? An official person. So this has to do with an official person. I feel like that's who didn't listen to their intuition about a message. Okay. When it comes to a privileged lady, something was not as expected. Something is not as they were expecting, or something is not what they expected. With what? Somebody wanting victory and success, or being victorious with somebody losing a lot of money. This has to do with people getting victory when it comes to someone losing a lot of money. So this has to do with an official person getting a message of concern and someone's health, getting a message about somebody's health. And this official person did not listen to their intuition, or they ignored their intuition when it comes to this message. Okay. Yeah, they were confused, all right? Somebody was confused here. Okay, so for some reason that's important, that some official person was confused about someone's health. And they ignored their intuition about someone's health. Okay. A Queen of Wands in reverse. This has to do with a leap of faith that someone took, a risk that someone took, or a new beginning with a King of Pentacles. So is this the King of Pentacles that ignored their intuition? Or didn't listen to their intuition? Who's this King of Pentacles? The King of Cups. Oh, so many masculine energies here, all right? Besides the Queen of Wands in reverse. This has to do with what somebody has been working towards, investing in for a long time, spending a lot of time trying to avoid an ending, or something about not wanting something to end, trying to avoid an ending with a King of Cups. A King of Cups trying to avoid an ending, or putting a lot of time and effort into stopping something from ending. All right. This has to do with what somebody had in their possession in a home, with a home, what somebody had in their possession, what they kept in their possession. They communicated something to solve some sort of a conflict, or to come out of a fight, and some official person did not listen to their intuition about this information. So what is it that they had in their possession here? Time, clock, time, needing time, taking time, time cycles. Something about time, okay. Oh, that went really far, hold on. All right, so we got talking, but it came out in the reverse. Conversing more, messages arrives, text, calls, emails in the reverse. So someone ignored their intuition that this was not you talking, or something about not talking to someone, not conversing with someone, and something for a long time, or a long time ago, or you haven't been talking to someone for a long time, or that's why they ignored their intuition, because you weren't talking to someone for a long time. And this has to do with someone's health. Okay. The relationship is over, no second chances, the Grim Reaper. Silent treatment, abundance. So this, okay, I get it now. So this official person thought, or I guess they knew, that you hadn't been communicating with someone for a very long time. You went no contact with someone, you cut them off. You hadn't been talking to them for a long time. So I guess they thought that the reason why you started talking to someone again was because of money, abundance, because you wanted to manifest something here. So that's what they ignored their intuition about, is poverty or being broke or someone's bad health, or the fact that you didn't talk to someone for a long time, you went no contact with someone, and then all of a sudden you start talking to them again. So I guess they didn't understand why you started talking to someone again, and that it had nothing to do with money. All right. That's kind of what this is giving me. Is that what this is? The Six of Swords, leaving something behind. Yeah, so why did you leave something behind? It could be why you went from no contact to contact, or, I mean, it's kind of like estranged family, right? So if you hadn't talked to a family member in like a year, it's like, why did you all of a sudden leave your strife behind and start talking to someone again? This has to do with an Emperor in the reverse, not finding a solution. So maybe you didn't talk to someone anymore because of an Emperor in the reverse, all right? Because somebody was a dictator, someone was a cruel, oppressive, heartless tyrant, and you didn't want to have anything to do with this oppressive, abusive person. Okay. So I guess this official person, look, this is how they spun it, right? This is how they spun it. So you have an estranged family member who's connected to a tyrant that you want to have nothing to do with. Once the tyrant is out of the picture, you have contact again with this family member. That's kind of what this looks like. And they use this opportunity to say that the only reason you're coming back around is for money, okay? When in reality, yeah, it's like they said that you, if you went no contact with someone, that you couldn't expect to get money or something like that, when in reality, money didn't have anything to do with it, okay? Money had absolutely nothing to do with it. And having contact with someone or not having contact with someone wouldn't have made a difference with money either way. Okay. All right, so there's definitely an official here that ignored their intuition about you and your intentions, is what it looks like. The Devil. The Empress, the Three of Cups, the King of Pentacles. Why do I feel like this King of Pentacles is the official person? So this has to do with, this could be a mother and children, all right? So maybe you were estranged from your own mother for a long time. Isn't that funny how some people outside of you that have nothing to do with you or your family, especially if we're talking about officials, right? Some people in law, it's kind of what it looks like. They think that they know something better than you know how it was. They think they know something more about your own family dynamic than you know. Isn't that strange? They think because they're an outsider, they have some sort of an objective opinion about what's going on in your family, even though they have no idea. Isn't that hilarious? That's the message. The message about family. Yeah, that's what it is. It's about family. A message about family. So somebody approaches this King of Pentacles, official person, with information about you and your family, and they think they know it better. They think they know you better and your relationship to your mother and your relationship to your siblings better than you know it. make that make sense. And why you came out of sadness and why you decided to let go of sadness and grief with your family. All right. So why you decided to go from no contact to contact. They think they know it better and they think it's about money. As if your parent hasn't been your parent for how many years? All of your life? Since you were born. Okay. So, all right. I like you. Someone likes you. Something about I like you. All right. Or the fact that you like each other. All right. So it's like, the reason why you go no contact, look, parent-child relationships are super tricky, okay? Because when you grow up, you realize that your parents are just people like you and I, right? Like they have their own flaws and their own problems and their own things that they need to work with, their own childhood that they had that made them the way that they are. And it's not always easy, right? Parent-child relationships, because we don't, just because they're our parents doesn't mean we always get along. But I feel like, you know, you being estranged from a family member or from a parent, that decision has so many layers to it. So many layers to it. That cannot be understood by an outsider that's not part of the family. All right. And it would be ridiculous to make an opinion off of something that they will never understand, because it goes deep. It goes all the way back to childhood, what someone will never understand. All right. And the other thing is, look, if you're a child that you estrange yourself from your family or a parent, you want a relationship with your parent. You do. But you want one that works for both people and that is healthy. Cutting a parent off is the last thing that you want to do. The last thing, because at the end of the day, it's still your parent. And you might have tried every single which way around having to cut someone off completely, okay? But if there's no other way, and especially if there's an emperor in the reverse around or some sort of a tyrant in the family and you feel like you have to protect yourself, sometimes there's no other way around that. And everybody wants a relationship with their parents. Everybody wants to have a good relationship with their mother or their father. It's not always possible though, because of, you know, your parents are also their own people dealing with their own issues, like I said, and their own psychological developments and, you know, traumas or whatever. It has to come from a place of mutual understanding. So just because you at some point decide to have a relationship again with your parents, that most likely comes from a place of just wanting to have a relationship with your parents. Okay? Because they're your parents. It doesn't have to have anything to do with money. It's your mother or it's your father. You just want a relationship with them because they're your family. They're your parents. Why does it always have to be about money? Yeah, it has to do with receiving what you need, progressing, arriving, moving on. Maybe you just wanted to move on, okay? Maybe you just wanted to move forward with something, progress in your life, move on, move forward, leave things behind from the past. Because if you had grievances with your parents 2 or 3 years ago, and those don't exist again today, those don't exist anymore, then that is a basis for being able to move forward, right? Or if you feel like your parent has done some own self-work on themselves, okay, and you feel like now a relationship would be possible because of a basis of mutual understanding of each other's situations, then it can be possible again. Like, as if it's easy, as if it's easy to cut off a parent forever or cut off a family member forever and never see them again and never talk to them again. You think that's easy? That's not easy. I don't know what this King of Pentacles is thinking. That's not easy. Of course you sit around and think, man, I wish it could be different. Man, I wish I could have a good relationship with my parents or with my family members or with other people. I wish it was possible. And if that window opens up again for that to be a possibility, why not take it? Okay. All right. So what else here? Four of Cups, the World, the Queen of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, and Strength in reverse. This has to do with someone being upset about a Queen of Pentacles, what someone has in their possession, feeling angry, aggressive, hostile in their ego, about wanting to hold on to something. What's that about? Despair. Despair about despair about not having a relationship. Yeah, it's not easy not having a relationship with your family members or with your parents. What is this despair here with a broken relationship? Not being able to move forward because of the pain. Yeah, that makes me feel like it was, at some point, it was just too hard to move forward with a relationship with someone because there was just too much pain still between you, all right? Or betrayal. Maybe you feel like, or you felt like this person betrayed you, okay? And it was hard for you to get over that. And most of the time, like, it takes some time for both parties to be able to look back and understand what happened, all right? Because if you're dealing with someone, look, Five of Cups, if you're dealing with someone that you tell this person you feel like they betrayed you and they say, I don't know what you're talking about, I didn't betray you, how are you supposed to have a line of communication there? And that's often the case with estranged parent-child relationships, right? Where the child, if the child is the one that pulled away, it's that feeling of not feeling understood or feeling like you've been betrayed in some sort of way, and the parent doesn't validate those feelings. Okay? It's like those feelings were just not validated. It just wasn't being understood. And especially if it's a buildup over time, where it's not just one time they do this, or they've done this multiple times where you've expressed that something hurt you and they don't validate that they did that, or they try to deflect, or they deny, or they don't take accountability, or, you know, and that can come from a lot of different places. Like a parent, they don't necessarily have to be, look, how should I say this? Okay, so I feel like my generation and older might be able to resonate with this, that our parents were products of people that lived through the war. All right, so depending on where you were in the world, right? So if they kind of had a different upbringing, all right? So if you have a parent that had narcissistic parents or had neglectful parents or cold parents, then your parent might also, it's kind of given me like a generational thing, right? Where they then also kind of can be a bit cold or a bit, self-absorbed, or, because at the end of the day, it's almost like when they were young, they were left to fend for themselves. They were emotionally neglected. They had to only take care of their own emotions. So when they grow up and have kids, now you are also being treated that way, where they are just not capable of really emotionally nurturing you or being there for you or asking you how you're feeling or really caring for how you're feeling, because they never learned that from their parents. You get what I'm saying? It's like, so if you want to have not a good relationship, but if you want to have a working relationship with your parents, your parent that you've estranged yourself from also has to get to a place of understanding the hurt that they caused you. Okay? And if you got to that point with a parent where you were finally able to sit down and talk it out, and they told you, okay, they understand, then you can move on from there. That doesn't mean it's easy not having a relationship with your parent. Like, honestly, it's not easy. Despair about not having a relationship. Yeah, it hurts. Like, who wants to sit there and go, my parent is alive, but I can't have a relationship with them because there's so much pain there and betrayal and hurt, and we're not able to work it out right now because the circumstances just aren't right. All right. The Seven of Swords. Yeah, someone being a liar, deceptive, manipulative. What is that about? The Knight of Cups. The Page of Wands in reverse. Bad news, all right? This has to do with someone coming towards someone in love or reaching out. What is that about? The Ten of Swords in reverse. Overcoming betrayal. I mean, the Knight of Cups in this sense is even giving me a sense of forgiveness, all right? Tell me more about this Seven of Swords, please. This has to do with lying and manipulation. Lying, slander, mean words, manipulation. All right. Bad communication. In a relationship. And Ace of Cups in reverse, feeling unloved. A lack of love, feeling like someone doesn't love you, or feeling a lack of love, feeling like something is not about love. Someone can't be strategic. Someone can't take a chance, can't take a risk. No options. Rejecting a gift. Somebody can't be a snake. What the heck is this? Someone can't be a snake. Someone can't manipulate. Someone can't take a chance. Yeah, or honestly, it could just even be about, look, sometimes we can't have relationships with our parents. Like, let's say your parents are divorced and they get remarried and you do not get along with their new partner, all right? Or you feel like their new partner is a snake, an absolute snake, a strategic snake, all right? Maybe you just felt like someone is around that you can't be around, all right? So if this person, if at some point your parent kind of wakes up to who they're married to or who they're with, that is also then an opportunity to have a relationship again with your parent. For some families, it's like that. Unfortunately, it is, all right? So it could just be about the fact that the snake was gone, all right? The snake was no longer around. the hidden snake couldn't be strategic anymore, so it was safe to reintegrate this family, or look at this. Dating someone new, they met someone new, and they got married. All right. So for someone here, this might be a bit more specific, but for someone here, the reason why you no longer had a relationship with your parent is because of who they married. Okay. Remarried. They met someone new and they got married. And with this person around, it was impossible. And it could even be because your parent was then in a abusive relationship with this person. All right. So because what you see oftentimes in abusive relationships is that the abuser isolates the family member from their own family. So this will be someone that will start to drive a wedge between your parent and you and your siblings, right? Where you will feel the relationship breaking apart because of their new partner who's driving a wedge into the relationships, who wants to isolate the victim, who's then your parent, from you and everyone else, because they need a sense of control. Okay, so it could also be something like that. A karmic relationship. Triggers, resentment, turmoil in a soulmate connection. Yeah. Someone here, something could not change or heal or adapt until someone was no longer being controlled by someone else. Yeah, so you might have felt like your parent or this family member was under the thumb or the control, even like the psychic mind control of this other person, and you couldn't get to them. You couldn't get to them. You couldn't talk to them. You couldn't get them to see what was really going on, all right? Because they were brainwashed. Brainwashed, all right? It's not possible to have a relationship with someone that's being absolutely brainwashed and mind controlled by someone else. It's not possible, really, if they're not able to see it for what it is. Okay. Yeah, so there was a cycle that had to close out here first. So what's the Four of Swords reverse? The Fool, a new beginning, all right? The Five of Swords. Yeah, someone that's manipulative, conniving, backstabbing, all right? This is someone that used it to their advantage that you didn't have a relationship with your family member. This was part of the setup and the sabotaging. All right. So they use this for their own manipulation. They use this to get what they want by driving a wedge between you and your family member, and then using that knowledge that you don't have contact with them also to their advantage. It's this person, a tyrant, dictator, manipulator, okay? The Star and the Page of Cups in reverse, something about feeling rejected, okay? Being emotionally immature. So they try to call you emotionally immature because you didn't want to have a relationship with someone because it was toxic. Okay. A message. This has to do with a message, all right? Of an expectation. A message of an expectation. What's this? Expecting a message. Of love. Someone expecting a message of love? What do you mean? balance, yin yang zen balance, union, duality. Yeah, so something had to be balanced out first in order for this to be a union again. Expecting a message of love. What does that mean? This has to do with a lot of money, someone's career, finances, independence. Some sort of corruption or a divorce. Or what you were expecting. So maybe you told your parent or this family member that it's not possible for you to have a relationship with them until they are divorced or separated or independent. All right, I don't know. This has to do with equal give and take. Receiving something, receiving some sort of financial news. King of Wands at the bottom. What is that? Receiving financial news. Expecting a letter. Imprisonment. Imprisonment. Lovers. Imprisonment for lovers? Somebody was expecting a message of love and balance because of someone trying to get someone imprisoned or a lover. What is that? This has to do with leaving something behind. Walking away, leaving something behind, walking away from someone, leaving someone behind. Why do I feel like this is your parent? It's all about why you walked away from your parent, why you walked away from your family member. Because it was a toxic relationship, or because you felt like they were around another person that betrayed you and they stood by and watched, or they didn't take your side, or they let it happen, or they didn't defend you. You know, that's why you walked away. What does that have to do with lovers, imprisonment? A King of Pentacles in reverse. Who's this? It's someone spying, listening, sending some sort of information. Who's this King of Pentacles reverse? A journey. This has to do with someone traveling, going on a journey, and leaving a community behind. This has to do with someone, a King of Pentacles in reverse, communicating something about you traveling or leaving a community. Okay. Coffin. Coffin. What is coffin? This was the strategy, this was the plan, the strategy to block you, block your path, block your choices, stop you from moving forward. That was the plan. That was the plan. With a death, with a coffin. The Nine of Swords. To say that somebody was stressed out and worried about a job, about work, about a plan. What does that have to do with a coffin? Has to do with a fight, an argument, competition, drama, about releasing something, letting something go, losing a sense of security. What am I missing here? An official person. I'm just not sure right now if this official person is the one that concluded all of this, like this was their epiphany, or this was their idea of what's going on in your family life, or if this is the person that received this news from someone else and they're like, oh yeah, me, outsider, I know so much more about family dynamics or about a great fortune. Who is this official person? The Empress and the Four of Wands. It has to do with a mother and a home, or a mother and a community, a mother and, or a maternal figure and a community, a home, or property. And bad news, or not getting the message, or not receiving a message. Bad news, or about a gift, Ace of Coins, an investment, some sort of evidence. This is the truth. What is that? What is this? Not getting money. Okay, you want to know what I feel like this is? Okay. This is a parent that is giving you an inheritance. You don't have any contact with this parent, or at some point you were estranged from this parent. They came up with a story that you have been cut out of the inheritance because you're estranged. But you're not. You were not cut off the inheritance. I feel like even if you had been estranged from this parent forever, you would not have been cut out of the inheritance. You would not have been cut off. But that's the story that they're going with, I guess, is that you only have contact with them now because of the money. When in reality, you not having contact with someone had nothing to do with you getting an inheritance or not. Even if you hadn't talked to this person again for the next 10 years, you would have still gotten the inheritance. They would not have cut you out. Either way, they would not have cut you out. Even if you had decided not to talk to this person, they would not have cut you out. So the fact that you have a relationship again with your parent has nothing to do with money, because you wouldn't have been cut off either way. But that's the story that they're going with. You only came back around to someone to get the inheritance. No, you didn't. That's not what this is about at all, okay? It's about a family dynamic and a parent and a child relationship that is strained for other reasons, all right? It doesn't have anything to do with money or inheritance. I mean, this is even like, for some of you, this is even like you telling your parent that you don't care about the inheritance. They don't even have to give it to you. You're fine without it either way, all right? If the relationship is that bad, you don't have to even include me. I don't care. Do whatever you want, all right? But this is an official person that feels like they know something, or this is what they're saying or communicating, is that you only have a relationship with your parent out of money purposes. But honestly, whoever you are, official person, I feel like this is this person, King of Pentacles in reverse. They don't know you. They don't know your family. They don't know what you've been through as a family. They weren't there the last 30, 40, 50 years. They have no idea what they're talking about. They were not there when you were growing up. They were not there the last 10 years. They don't know anything about you and your mother or your father or your parents, nothing. So how dare they even open up their fucking mouth and have the audacity to say, you have a relationship here with them because of this and that. You don't even know, collective. You don't even know. You don't know nothing. 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 And that's why I don't give a fuck what this person says. I really don't give a fuck. All right? Stupid opinions. Just stupid opinions that don't mean nothing at all. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't mean anything. All right. Ridiculous. Okay. But, you know, these people, they always feel like they know everything better, right? They always have an opinion. So, whatever. What's this person working towards here? They've been spending a lot of time working towards something. With a King of Swords. This is the truth. This is the truth about a King of Swords. Who's the King of Swords now? So many men. So many masculines. So many masculines, all right? That feel like they know something about a parent and or a child and a mother. All right? Why are the men talking? Adjudication. And a gift. This has to do with someone receiving a gift or somebody giving something to a judge or you receiving a gift or someone getting a gift or giving someone a gift and a judge. All right? A privileged lady. Yes, it's all about money. They're just trying to say that you did all this stuff for money. As if they fucking know anything about you at all, really. You want to know? You want to know what I want to know? Why are they saying this? Spirit, tell me. Why are they saying all this stupid shit? Really? Why? What's the point? What's the real motive behind this? The Eight of Cups, walking away from something, leaving something behind. Sabotage. The Devil. Manipulation, control, sabotage, revenge, evil intention, control, jealousy, toxicity, being lazy, unproductive, not having a plan, wanting reward without effort. All right. The Ace of Cups. Love. In the past. Wanting to get a burden off of their back. Somebody doesn't want to carry a burden. This has to do with somebody rejecting someone's offer. Rejecting someone's offer in the past. So, who's that? This has to do with money and not working. Oh, they're trying to say that you're ungrateful, okay? You're ungrateful and lazy and you just want money and you don't want to work. And you're ungrateful. Right, okay, marriage. Oh, the husband? Oh, no way. The husband. The person that you don't want to be around. That one, all right? Or whoever this is, marriage. So just more projection, honestly. Okay. So something about being lazy, not wanting to work, wanting things handed to you on a silver platter, right? Okay, yeah, whatever. Okay, what's the Star in reverse? The Five of Cups in reverse. The Empress. Yeah, it's all about an empress or a mother or a maternal figure, all right? And coming out of sadness, overcoming a sense of sadness, grief, hopelessness. The Three of Wands. And for the future, the Ace of Cups. Yeah, it's like, so why, okay, so why were you able to overcome sadness between you and this parent? Why were you able to have a relationship again, or start seeing each other again, or mend this relationship? Because of love. Because of love. Because it's your parent, because you're the child, because you love each other, because there's love there. Because you're family. Okay. Well, it's surprising to me that I even have to explain this, but I guess some people have been driving this one home so long that it's only because you're poor and left out in the cold. That's the only reason. You don't give a fuck about the money. It's about the fact that this is your parent. It's because you love your parent. They're your parent. They're your mother. I mean, what the fuck is so hard to understand about that? It's about these people judging, other people judging you because of the fight you had. I'm sorry. People fight with their parents. People fight with their parents over a lot of things, all right? But at the end of the day, you're family, okay? And you come together again because you're family and there is love there. So people are judging a fight that you had with them. I really don't care at all. The Ace of Wands in reverse. Yeah, it's like because moving forward because of pain, heartbreak, and betrayal, all right? The choice that you made. Oh, really? That's the question? That's the question. Why did you make this choice? Collective, why did you choose to have a relationship again with your mother or your parent or your family member? What a stupid question. I guess it's not a stupid question with officials like this walking around. I think they know everything better, all right? Yeah, this is the truth about why you decided to leave something behind, why you decided to let go. Because people want a relationship with their family. And not because of an inheritance or not because of money, but because it's your parent. It's your parent. It's family. And even, especially if you have like kids or something like that, that's their grandparent. It's not a nice like honestly, it's not a nice feeling when you know that your parent is alive, but you can't talk to them right now. That is a horrible feeling. Because you want that relationship with them. You would love to have a relationship with them. But sometimes circumstances don't negate that. And if the opportunity is there because the circumstances are better, or there's a divorce, or you feel like you can have a relationship now because there's a basis of mutual understanding about what happened in the past, okay? And you can come to your parent and say, this hurt me. I felt betrayed by you in this situation. I felt like you didn't defend me or stand up for me in this situation. And your parent is finally at a place where they can say, you know what? I understand you. I understand that. I see it now. I didn't see it back then, but now I see it. That opens up a door to have a conversation. The world. That opens up the door to close out the cycle. All right? To close out the cycle. With an Empress in the reverse. Yeah, you might have seen them like a bad mother in the past. Maybe in the past you were like, they're a bad person. They're not a bad person, but they're not really being that caring. They're emotionally neglectful. All right. They're a bit too self-absorbed. They're being, they don't care. You don't feel like this person really loved you or was really there for you or they didn't defend you. Okay. So in the past, you might have felt this way. That doesn't mean you have to feel this way forever. It doesn't mean you have to feel this way forever. All right. But sometimes when we go through things with our parents, it hurts us. They're your parents. Right? The Six of Pentacles. It's like, why did you have I get it. It's outsiders going, but if you think so poorly of your mother, then why do you come back and have a relationship with them at the same exact time that you're getting an inheritance? Maybe this was like, look, it's not just a black and white thing. People are trying to make this black and white. All right, black and white. It's not black and white because there's a lot of moving parts in a situation. Okay, so let's say your parent, like, let's just take the example if they're married to a demon, all right, and you can't be around this demon because this demon makes you feel unsafe. So they get divorced when they separate, they move away, they move out, they, whatever. At the same time, as they start realizing that this demon that they married is after their inheritance, all right, or after their assets, after their money. So while they're separating from this person, they're like, look, I need to start making sure that my family or my children get this inheritance or get these assets because I don't want this psycho over here that I married touching my shit, all right? So you don't have contact with your parent. They're like, look, I'd like to start doing this and that. I'd like to do this and that. They try to reach out to you through third parties, and it might have opened up a conversation at first, but not because of the money, but because of the fact that they moved away from the demon and were focused on protecting their family and their assets away from the person that you don't like. That's an example, all right? It's like, because there's many moving parts. It's not about the fact that they wanted to give something to you and that's when you pop back around and it was only for this one thing. It's because the reason why you stopped having a relationship with them in the first place was lifted. Okay? The reason why you went no contact was solved. It wasn't an issue anymore. It was able to be talked out. You can now sit down and have a conversation about what happened back then. And just because something about getting some sort of money was at the same time doesn't mean that's the reason, okay? Might have been like a foot opener, like you get a message from a third party family member saying, hey, I have this message from you, from your parent for you. I have to let you know this, and that. Something like that. Maybe at that point you're like, okay, you know what? I can talk to them myself. I don't need, my siblings talking for me, right? It can all happen at the same time. It doesn't have to be black and white, all right? I feel like someone is trying to make it very black and white. Lives and families are not black and white, all right? There's a lot of layers. There's a lot of moving parts here. But I feel like the biggest takeaway from this is at the end of the day, nobody that hasn't estranged themselves from their family members can even speak on this. So if this official person, King of Pentacles in reverse, whoever that is, hasn't estranged themselves from their family members, I think that their fucking opinion doesn't even matter because they don't even know what they're talking about. They don't even know how that feels. All right? They don't even know what people go through in those situations. And like I said, at the end of the day, every single person wants to have a relationship with their family. Sometimes it's just not possible. That doesn't mean that you don't wish it could be different. Of course you sit there and wish it wasn't that way. You wish it could be different. You wish that it hadn't happened that way. You wish that there was a possibility for things to change. And if that possibility is presented, then why wouldn't you take it? It's the hardest decision in the world as a child going no contact with a parent. That is a horrible feeling. And you don't do that unless there's a really big reason why. And if that reason is gone and it's solved, then you can talk. All right? Yes, it's about love and forgiveness. That's the answer. Because your parent loves you and you love your parent. But sometimes things and circumstances are just too hard to move past. All right? But there's love there. You love them, they love you. But I'm sorry, but you will go through times with family where it's just difficult. All right? Difficult circumstances. That doesn't mean you don't love them. Okay? Just because you feel hurt and betrayed by them doesn't mean you don't love them. And just because they push you away or, they don't stand up for you or they, whatever it was, doesn't mean they don't love you. But things are just messy sometimes. But if, like I said, if both parties can sit down and have a conversation and say, this hurt me, I didn't like this, I felt betrayed by you, and your parent is finally at a point in their life and in their own development, maybe even they went through therapy and they start to realize, what they did and how they were acting and all that stuff, then it's easier to have a conversation. Especially if you also have other family members, like siblings or something, that talk to your family member for you or say, look, this is their problem. This is why they don't want to talk. This is that. And it's a whole family dynamic. There's a lot of moving parts. Okay. There's a lot of different family members that are involved. The Emperor, the Ten of Pentacles, and a relationship. What is this? Or this is about someone's husband, maybe, okay, who they're in a relationship with. You didn't trust this person. You didn't trust this person who they were in a relationship with. You thought they were manipulative, conniving, mind controlling, and brainwashing. It wasn't possible to have a relationship with a family member until this person was not in the picture, was no longer mind controlling, no longer driving a wedge, no longer, whatever that is. All right. Things had to be balanced and healed on both sides for this to even work out again. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. It's been an hour, so okay. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Bye.